Okay, welcome back. We're going to be talking about the magic of 30. And when I say the magic of 30, what I mean is going out and personally recruiting 30 people fast. And consider this a challenge from me to you, is for you to go out and put in 30 people. And from my experience, if you really want to create momentum within your group, you need to put those 30 in the business within a 90-day time frame. So that's 10 personals a month. Obviously, very, very doable for anyone who really, really gets serious, especially with the knowledge that you've gotten in Millionaire School on prospecting, on inviting, on presenting, on closing. There is absolutely no reason why you can't go out and sponsor 10 people a month over the next 3 months. Now, if you want to supercharge your results, you can do a little bit more. Now, it's been true for me. Every time I've created huge momentum, it's because I've put in a lot of people fast. We talked in the last module about the law of compressed activity, but there is just some magic in the law of 30 and in putting in 30 people fast. Now, this is what my mentor said with me. He said years ago, and this is when I was not earning, had never earned a six-figure income, and he said, if you go put in 30 fast, then that'll turn into thousands. 30 will turn into thousands if you put in 30 fast. Now, he actually didn't specify a time frame, and me not being overly analytical, for me, I just thought as fast as possible. I got to do it within 1 month. And I don't know how I did it, but I ended up putting in 30 personals in 1 month. So in case you're wondering, like, if you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't know if I could do that. Listen, when I put in 30 personals in 1 month, I was 24 years old, had been working as a waiter at a steakhouse. I was $30,000 in debt. I was living at home with my mom. I had nothing going on for me. I had never had any success, tangible success in network marketing. I didn't have a group to bring over, nothing like that. I just decided enough was enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to go after it. And here's how the numbers have worked out for me then. It's how the numbers have worked out for me ever since, and it's how I typically always see the numbers. And this is probably why I don't know why the magic is in 30, but if you look at it like this, out of every 30 personals that you put in, if you go back to the last couple modules ago when we talked about out of every 10, you end up getting about 2. And from what I've seen and the way most network marketing companies design their compensation plans, you're going to need anywhere between 3 and 6 leaders, 3 and 6 people in different lines of lineage or different lines of sponsorship, different organizations. You're going to need anywhere from 3 to 6. And so out of 30, if you're getting 2 out of every 10 that you put in, then you put in 30, obviously you end up getting 6. And so, my suggestion is you obviously put them in super fast. You can do it over a longer time frame, but again, the law of compressed activity doesn't take effect, and you're going to make a lot less money long term. And so here's what I heard someone say one time is, when you die and at the funeral, how many people carry your casket? You got 3 on each side. You got 6 people to carry your casket. So here's the reality. If you can find 6 when you're dead, you can find 6 when you're alive. So let's carry this out a little bit more, and let's talk about, what you would have to do from a closing ratio. If you're going to put in 30 fast, then and let's say your closing ratio is 1 out of every 5 people that you show, then, you do 150 exposures, you enroll 30 people. And so most people look at that 30 and it's like, all right, I'm going to go after the 30. I'm going to go after the 30, but they don't look at how many people end up saying no if you close 1 out of 5. So you're going to have 120 people tell you no. And I'll tell you the main reason why people, and even you, this is the biggest reason why you probably will not go out and enroll 30 people. It's not because you have a challenge finding 30 people who will say yes. There's 30 people out there. The challenge is you're afraid of the 120 people who say no. And the reality is the biggest fear in the world is the fear of rejection. It's not the fear of public speaking. The fear of public speaking, again, that's just the fear of being rejected publicly. It is rejection. If you think about, going out and asking someone on a date or something like that. It's that rejection that holds you back. And so you got to get over that. And something that we talked about in the closing module, it's something that if you didn't write this down, write it down again. Here's one of the secrets. When you stop being afraid of people saying no, they start saying yes. And so hopefully you're going to do a lot better than enrolling 1 out of every 5 people that you show. If you get good at this, you should be able to enroll 1 out of every 3, maybe even 1 out of every 2, depending on your product and price points and so forth. But worst case scenario, let's say you enroll 1 out of 5. And if you're not enrolling 1 out of 5, you really don't need to worry so much about the scripts that you're saying. I just had someone message me the other day and they said, I've been using your contacting scripts, and I've said this, and I've said this, and I've said this, and I did it with 50 people, and no one gave me their number. And I promise you the scripts work. I've used them. I've had massive teams use them. They work without a doubt. If you're not having the results, you've got to go back to week number 1, and you got to work on you. See, the law of the lid is always in effect. Your success is never going to grow beyond who you are as a person. And so worst case scenario, you should be at 1 out of every 5. So you're getting 120 no's. And because people try and avoid the no's, that's why they don't get the yeses. And so the false belief in network marketing and in life period is that you're going to go have success in life, but you're going to avoid failure. You're going to avoid rejection at all cost. So imagine where you're sitting right now, where you're standing. If you got, rejection or failure on your left side and you got success on your right side, well, naturally people want to turn to the right and only go towards success. But the reality is they're not on 2 sides. It's right in front of you. But what's in front of you is the rejection, and what's beyond the rejection is success. So you got to be willing to just go through the no's. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is just go for no. Focus on the 120. So instead of focusing on the 30, focus on the 120. Now, if you think I'm crazy, and I even thought when I heard someone talk about this, in fact, there's a great book called Go for No. I would recommend you get that book. In fact, if you are serious, if you're a professional, go get that book, go read that book. But a lot of the basic behind the book is that people never get the yes because they're afraid of the no. And you might think that if you're going for no, if your goal is to get 120 no's, you're going to get less yeses. Well, what I have found to be the case is you don't get less yeses, you actually end up getting more yeses. Why? Because the fear goes away. And when you stop being afraid of the no's, people start saying yes. And you end up having more posture, you having more certainty, you have a heightened sense of urgency. And so things just work out better when you go for the no. And again, the faster you recruit, the better the numbers work out. And so put in a lot of people fast. Focus on getting a lot of no's really, really fast.